Hey guys, how's it going? Twiggs here. So we're going to be checking out a lot of stuff when it comes to what's going on in the meta for Honkai Star Rail, more specifically now that Rappa has come to the game. And 2.6 has dropped, and we have a lot of content to dive into. We got sort of a filler story when it comes to Rappa and Penacony, and then we got a lot of really interesting and cool stuff going on in the simulated universe. I've only been able to kind of like dip my toe into what's going on in the simulated universe, and I've gotten a good like few hours into the new stuff with Penacony and Rappa, and then just being able to try out Rappa, get an idea of how her kit works, how important is her light cone to her, and just the unfortunate side effects of just being an Erudition character. So with that being said, definitely hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that like button helps get the video out there. Hit that subscribe button helps us grow a community over here, helps us grow the channel. So if you guys can hit that like and subscribe button, I'd greatly appreciate it. So when it comes to Rappa, you guys will pretty much instantaneously notice that she's not even in tier 0 or even tier 0.5. She is actually in tier 1, which is still a really good spot. These characters are nothing to snooze at. All these characters in tier 1 are good characters. Even the characters in tier 1.5, and I would even argue tier 2 is still pretty decent too. But a lot of people still might be surprised that Rappa is in tier 1. Why is that? Well, I can easily tell you just from being able to test her, read her kits, and take a look at her light cone and even see some gameplay of her that other people have created. Rappa is a really good character, but her disadvantage is that she is in the Erudition path. And Erudition is kind of like in the same place Hunt was, I would argue, a few updates ago. Because Erudition characters lean so much into AoE, their damage multipliers therefore reflect a lot lower than a lot of other types of characters. Erudition characters have very, very low damage multipliers, and that hurts them, especially in cases where they're not dealing with AoE. And what I mean is anything outside of pure fiction, Erudition characters are just slapping enemies with a wet fish. The other thing about Rappa in particular, is that she's very ult reliant. And that wouldn't be such a bad thing if her light cone, allowing her to get that advanced forward a lot more often, didn't hurt her so much. And what I mean by that is that advanced forward that her light cone gives her is so beneficial to her kit that it's almost like a crutch to her. She needs, I would argue, needs her light cone to even feel remotely good outside of pure fiction. And that's why a lot of you probably even heard, like, let's say, for example, Gotcha Smack. I was watching his latest video not too long ago. He pretty much said that if you don't go for her light cone, then don't go for her in general. And that is because her light cone is so good when it comes to giving her an advance forward. And since I got a chance to try her out, I can agree to that. She 100% needs her light cone. And if you don't have her light cone, if you're not going for her light cone, you are better off saving for future characters. For example, Sunday. Sunday's right around the corner, and from what I'm hearing from my visions of the future, Sunday is going to be very, very potentially game-changing if there is a summon meta coming across the horizon. And then 5-star Ting Yun is also around the corner, and according to my visions of the future, she is going to add more to the break meta. And so what would you rather do? Would you rather invest in Sunday, who could potentially be paving the way for a summon meta, or 5-star Ting Yun, who's hot as hell and is going to potentially add something to the super break meta? Or would you rather go with Rappa, who's just a mid character who's not really adding too much to the game due to the fact that she's an Erudition character? So that is the issue where Rappa falls. She is a Erudition character. Erudition characters struggle, and outside of pure fiction, there really is not much there. So let us put Rappa to the side now that we spoke on at length about her, and look at more about what Prydwen's got going on with their tier list. One of the big things right out of the gate is Aron has dropped. And for reference, I have already read the chat log that Prydwen puts. And according to Prydwen, the reason that Aron has dropped is mostly due to the fact that Fei Xiao is so fucking good. The big advantage that Fei Xiao has compared to Aron is that Fei Xiao already has pretty much her premium team. You put Fei Xiao with Topaz, and then you pair her with Robin, and then you throw in Aventurine, and you have literally pretty much the best team in the game. That team can pretty much annihilate everything. I know because I have it. And I even have some of the important aspects to make the team even better. And yes, the Fei Xiao team is absolutely busted. Fei Xiao alone by herself is absolutely busted. Nothing competes with Fei Xiao when it comes to how astonishingly good she is. Aron, on the other hand, she did get one really good support in Jay Chou. He gives her an edge. There's no doubt about it. But Aron needs, unfortunately, a little bit more, because her herself, don't get me wrong, she is absolutely a busted character, but she's not on the level of busted that Fei Xiao is. And Aron, kind of like in the same predicament that Jing Liu is in, and even Dot characters are in, they're really needing more. Because Jing Liu is dying, because right now the only way she can be really good is to, if you like, build into a hyper carry. And that's literally why also Sparkle has fallen off, is because Sparkle only leans into hyper carry. And hyper carry has also fallen off. And so you got Dot falling off, Jing Liu kind of being a hyper carry's fallen off, Sparkle being that support for hyper carry. And so what we're running into is that a lot of these team compositions need supports. And right now the meta is just literally either follow-up attack with Fei Xiao or super break. And that is why Firefly is still on top, because Firefly is the super break queen. And there's nothing that's going to change when it comes to super break until maybe a 5-star, I don't know, maybe Ting Yun comes out. That's the thing that's going on right now, is that there are team compositions that just need a lot of help. And right now the only thing that's being fueled is follow-up attack and super break. And that is why you see a lot of these characters on top. Fei Xiao, follow-up. Dr. Ratio, follow-up. Yun Li, follow-up. Super break. Super break. Follow-up. Follow-up. Super break. Here you have these only ult-based Acheron team with Jay Chou and Acheron, and then super break. Follow-up. Hua Hua is just universally decent or good. I personally am not a fan of Hua Hua. Fushuan is just generally good. And then Gallagher with super break, and Lingsha with super break. This right now encapsulates the meta. And the only oddballs here are Jay Chou and Acheron. Like I said, when it comes to supports, you just have some universally good supports over there. And then one other character that I want to point out on this list that's been moved is unfortunately Seela. Seela is one of those characters, and I've spoke about this in the past, but she has been absolutely power crept. As you guys know, when it comes to me, I don't like to talk about power creep, because a lot of the times it's misrepresented in Honkai Star Rail. But like I always say, there is some instances of power creep, and Seela is another one of those that is an instance of power creep. And part of the reason is not really Seela's fault, is due to the design of her kit. Her kit was, unfortunately, not designed in a way that it would withstand what the game would grow into. For example, when it comes to her first passive trait, all it does is lower her chance of getting hit based on, like, I think her HP or something. But that's never, ever, ever going to pretty much ever help her. Because, and bosses, especially bosses, but a lot of enemies too, have AoE attacks. So that first passive trait is absolutely useless to Seele. Another big reason for why Seele's kit is absolutely atrocious, and in the chat log, Prydwen even explains this, and this is kind of a no-brainer situation, because it's one of the main top, it's pretty much the top thing that people bitch about when they talk about Seele, and justifiably so. As this game has progressed, enemy health bars have gotten tougher, and this was a problem even soon into the first few updates of this game. People were noticing it. Enemies are getting tougher. Enemies are getting more health. Enemies are developing and are coming out with more resistances. And that, as it develops and as it becomes a bigger and bigger issue, Seele gets worse, worse, and worse, due to the fact that you can have a Seele that is maxed out and mid-maxed and pretty much got the best stats, and you will still struggle. And even Prydwen says it in their chat log. They say the same thing. Even the best Seeles are going to struggle due to the fact that this is becoming more and more of an issue for Seele. Why, you might be asking? And I hopefully most people are not asking why, but I'm going to explain it for the sake of content. If your Seele is struggling to kill just one enemy, that is one instance of an attack that did not result in you popping Resurgence. And Seele's kit is built and is centered around, and therefore most of her damage is locked behind being in the resurgent state. If Seele's not in the resurgent state, your Seele is pretty much useless. And so anytime Seele is not killing an enemy, she is going to struggle. Anytime enemies are getting tougher and tougher, Seele is going to struggle. And that is why Seele is continuing to fall and fall on the tier list. And I would argue that this Seele should actually be down here with Argenti, because Argenti's issue is that he is an erudition character. He is pure AoE, and like I said with Rappa and Argenti suffer from the same problem. They are erudition path characters. Seele's problem is that her kit is just not designed for where this game is going. If there was absolutely ever a character that needed a redesign or a rebuild on their kit, it is Seele. But that's my thoughts on Prydwen's update for their tier list, and my thoughts on Rappa as she is launched into the game. For me personally, I am 100% skipping Rappa. I have absolutely no interest in Rappa, and I did the same thing with the last erudition character that came out with Jade. Even though Jade's hot as hell, I have no interest in erudition characters. And so I am going to be probably waiting for Sunday, or if I don't pull Sunday, I'm definitely 100%, no matter what, pulling for a 5-star Ting Yuan. But that's my thoughts. Definitely head down in the comments down below and let me know what you guys are thinking of Prydwen's updated tier list for Honkai Star Rail. Also, let me know what you guys are thinking about Rappa. Are you guys pulling for Rappa? Are you guys excited for Rappa? Or are you doing what I'm doing and just waiting for Sunday or 5-star Ting Yuan? Let me know in the comments down below what you guys are thinking, and definitely hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.